through.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper. This is the Piper Academy Network. This is the Bitcoin chart. That's the range. We've been in it for a while. We can't seem to get out of it. We're sitting in the middle of it. Nothing's changed with Bitcoin, guys. Looking over here at the crypto bubbles, we do have a little bit of green today. Actually, quite a bit. On the hourly, we were looking a little red, but all of a sudden, markets opened, everything flips over, and boom, there you go. It's moving to the upside and getting green. Looking here at what we're seeing on the traditional markets, the TradFi, Dow Jones right there, S&P, NASDAQ, Russell 2K, all in the green, and the VIX is being calm. Could get a little bit of a move today. Yep, UNH. We're talking about UNH today, bro. I'm buying it too, just so you know. We're going to talk about that. Let me go back over here and take a look at UNH. I got to just show you guys here. UNH is not doing the greatest. It keeps selling off, but I told everybody I was doing it as a DCA approach. And I've actually done a little bit of work on this chart. Did a little bit of work on this chart. I got some stuff we're going to show you. It's going to look a lot like this. And we're going to talk about these levels and why they matter. Today, talk about Bitcoin. There's some very bearish articles coming out. Is that a precursor that we could get a move to the upside, or are they all right? Very rarely is everyone correct on their opinion, right? So if they're all saying the same thing, think of the opposite. But yeah, we're going to go take a look at that and a whole lot more today on the Morning Market Report. You guys know what time it is. Take your seats. Class is in session. Let's get it. See you on the other side. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. Let's go ahead and get the man, the myth, the legend. I know you guys have missed him. He's been AWOL, absent without leave, because he had some family issues, but he's back. Ladies and gentlemen, Mexican Superman has entered the building. What's up, OC? How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Doing fantastic. So just you guys wondering what was family issues, my wife hit me. So yeah, that's why I was crying.
That's a lie. That would never happen. I know better. I know better. No, you had some family stuff going on, man. It's all good. But we got a lot of people in the chat right now. We got about 22 people over here right now. Alex O is still going. I don't know if he's going to push over to us, but we got a new setup. OC, you want to give a shout out to the people in the chat right now?
Absolutely.
Check that out. Look at that. Look at that glorious new setup I got going for us. What?
That is
who all we got in here with us, OC? Who all is in here?
Nice. So let's get started. It's Alexander G with the first chat there. Thank you so much, Alexander G. Welcome. Also, we have BC Port Corp. We have username. Who else we have in the chat? We have Weak Wife. Welcome. We have Harp, Eric Wallen. Hey, Harp, again, Trade Intuition, Average Crypto Joe. Who else is in here? Let's see. Crypto Billy and Buck. What is up, guys? Thank you so much.
I see Buck there.
Hopefully you guys
I see Buck.
A fantastic morning.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys, we got a new setup here. So when we come over here and we're just talking about stuff, you guys can be part of the conversation because you guys are part of the alumni. You are the alumni. You guys are the family. So let's go ahead and jump over into some news. Let's break that down. We did get some housing news today, but I have some thoughts about next week's macro events, if you guys don't know. So when we get over there, we'll talk about that too. Let's go ahead and jump over to the news cam, and we'll break all this down for you guys, see where we're at over there. Let's go. All right, so looking at the news today, guys, there we go. Looking at the Into The Cryptoverse for our metrics today, we're sitting at $3.337 trillion. Trend line's at about 3.794, so undervaluation's about 12%. Where we at? Shut up, Buck. I'm watching over there. I just saw that. Looking at the crypto current risk for Bitcoin, it's at 57.4%. And at Bitcoin dominance with stables is at 62.33. Without stables, 67. So we are coming back up on that Bitcoin dominance, closing in on that 70% again, moving to the upside, back up to 67 when you take away all them stable coins. Looking at the fear and greed index right now, guys. 71 and in greed for Bitcoin. This is the thing on X marks the spot that I want to talk about. QUBT letter. Let me go ahead and just hit show more. Thank you very much. There we go. QUBT letter breaking 246 U.S. large companies have gone bankrupt year to date, the most in 15 years. This is up from 206 recorded last year and more than double of what we saw in the bear market of 2022. In April alone, the U.S. saw 59 bankruptcy filings as tariffs ramped up. And so far this year, industrial sector has seen 41 bankruptcies, followed by 31 in consumer discretionary and 17 in healthcare. Now, I'm talking about UNH today, so I wanted to talk about these 17 companies filing 17 healthcare companies filing for bankruptcy. Is there a likelihood that UNH could do that? And I talked to ChatGPT, and we'll break that down for you too. According to S&P Global, consumer discretionary companies have been hit the hardest due to market volatility, tariffs, and inflation uncertainty. We expect a surge in bankruptcies in 2025. So, and then the selling pressure, lastly, talking about UNH. The selling pressure in United Health, UNH is almost unprecedented for the first time since 1998. A Dow 30 stock is down over 55% in 1 month. The last time this happened, also UNH back in 1998 when the stock fell 55% in 1 month. Not even in 2008 or in 2020 did we see a Dow 30 component fall over 55% in a single month. As a result, the daily RSI on UNH just fell to 11 for the first time since 1998. And in other words, the daily RSI is now suggesting that the stock is at its most oversold level in 27 years. Holy balls. All right, let's go look at liquidations here on the crypto market. Keep it quick and simple. In the past 24 hours, 109,218 traders liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $300 million. ETH was the biggest liquidation. It was on OKX. It was $4.2 million. They're looking at the crypto bubbles. Let's see how these markets are looking right now. Bitcoin's at 1037. What do you know? Ethereum is at 25.93, up 2.7%. Let's go see. XRP is down 0.2% on the daily, trying to make a rally on the hourly. It's at 243. Big movers today. SWI up 5.3% at $3.89, just under $3.90. And then Hyperliquid up 10.6%, moving up 3 spots again to number 15. But that's about it. Everything else is in that 1-2 range. I do have Litecoin at number 21, up 4.7%, but overall, about it on the movement. It's kind of flat across the markets, to be honest. Looking over here at our U.S. TradFi, you can see we're pretty much flat. 0% on the Dow Jones, 0.07 S&P, 0.13 on NASDAQ. Let me give this a refresh, make sure I'm seeing most current numbers. Yeah, we're still flat, guys. Everything's flat right now, and like within 0.2% of being neutral, right? So, bonds market. 10-year yield is falling down 4.4. This is a good thing. This is our baseline for mortgage rates and stuff. We're seeing a lot of slowdown on the housing market. Getting ready to talk about that. This can help it. Let's go look at gold. Gold is down to 31.82 and continuing to see sell-off on that sector at $1, 1.36% to the downside. Oil rallying back up, staying above $60. I know, Buck, you'd like to see this get down to that, 55 range, 50 range, so that they start shutting off those oil fields to control costs. But as of right now, you're dealing with 62. What's up, Kelly? How you doing there? I see you there. XYZ, ZYX. Jay Violet, appreciate you being here. Awesome. Yeah, we'll get to you guys all in a second. So here's what I was talking about, those 10-year yields. This is the data that came out today. Pretty much a big nothing burger. But there was some interesting data here. Housing starts came in a little bit better than what it was previously, but not as good as what they were doing on the consensus, in line with the forecast. Building permits, preliminary, like this is the, hey, we plan to ask for you to give us permission to build. Those were both down and under the consensus consensus. So some housing starts are slowing down a little bit. Was negative 10.1% last month, though. They thought it was going to be negative, came in at 1.6, but still slow. We should have some new data here. Came in at 8 o'clock. This is going to be on Michigan consumer sentiment. They thought it was going to be 53 to 52, guys, came in lower. So consumer sentiment, the average retail buyer in America, the consumer, not feeling very bullish about the economy right now. So a little bit could have been lower, could have been much lower, but in my opinion, when they're shooting for 52 and 53 and you come in at 50, probably giving some insight there that people are feeling the pain, right? Let's go look at the CME group, see what we're seeing here. This is what the rate calls are for June right now. We're still looking at 91%, no change. July 63%, no change, and now we're 25% for September, no change. I think we get one, maybe two this year. I keep telling you guys that, but we will see. We'll talk about this in a second. This is our liquidation zones that we're watching on Bitcoin. They're sitting to the downside about 98,000, to the upside as high as 107. Just so you guys know, we're in this bubble of liquidation heat map. We are going to talk about these headlines today. Not read each article, but just talk about some of the things that are in here. The Bitcoin weekly super trend flashed a sell signal from 2022 despite Bitcoin strength. So that's interesting. Bitcoin's next leg up is loading. Analysts say Bitcoin could trade sideways for 2 weeks. Well, there you go. And then we're already there. Bitcoin rally stalls as the SOPR spikes. Analyst explains what it means. And then we've also got an article talking about Bitcoin because she sees short-term holder sell-off around these levels. So we're going to get into all of that. But yeah, that's it for the news today. Let's go ahead and jump over to Duo Cam. And actually, we'll go over here. I like this Duo chat cam. I kind of like this with all the people. All the people are here. They're right there. That's all the alumni. So yeah, OC, this whole thing with UNH, man. Have you been following this at all? What happened with this?
Not really. I've been a little bit absent from the social media, but what's going on? Can you maybe get me up to date?
So United Healthcare, it's the largest health insurance company in America. They had that's the one whose CEO got unalived. Remember that? The guy ran up behind him and shot that. And then they got another one in, and then they got hit with that guy stepping down, which I think the reason for that was what I'm getting ready to explain. He steps down, that CEO steps down. They also canceled their earnings, their projections, and said for 2025, they said, yeah, probably not going to make it. They lost a bunch of money on Medicaid A, I believe, on Medicare A or whatever. One of those, they way off on their numbers. And then they had some missed earnings. And then the Department of Justice comes in to investigate them for fraud on Medicare. Yeah, it just keeps stacking, man. And it keeps sending it lower and lower. I put out a call on this week. And I said, look, guys, this is the number one insurance company in America. There's not even anyone close to them as how big they are. But truth of the matter is, they have a lot of money. They have amazing lawyers, and they've been around a long time. And they've been through this before, literally. The only company that's been through this before, back in 1998, right? So I think that this is a DCA worthy company. Not because I think that I think the company is a good, strong, morally based company that does great things for the world. I think that they are the corruption institution, so on and so forth, and they tend to do quite well in the world of lobbying and the world of overcharging and fraud, and make 50 million customers they have. Thank you, Billy. Appreciate that. So I've been DCAing on this thing. I mean, each time it drops, I just buy more. I'm actually thinking like 230 to 250 might be its bottom side. So I want to go take a look at that chart, and then I'll come back to you to knock out Bitcoin. How does that sound? I just want to talk about UNH for a second and get over and talk about this chart right here. And so what I did is I went back and put this on the higher time frames, because if you look at this on the 4 hour, you're like, oh wow, look at this big massive fair value gap right there, right? Big massive fair value gap right there. This thing's just filled with them. But if we take this in and we go on a daily, we see an even better picture. Okay, because we have this here. We have a huge CME gap right there. We have a huge CME gap there. We have a huge, like the huge gaps, guys. And so typically you'll see gap ups. And there's a lot of gaps in here to fill, just like we always have seen back in the past. If we go back on weekly, let's take this thing back to 1998. Let's put this thing on the Wayback Machine. Here we go. Here we go. Gotta love it. Way back, way back. 1998. There we go. All right, you can see here there's that fall that they were talking about, that 55% fall. And they're used to doing this, like, honestly. Like if we go from here to here, this is in 96, that was a 56% fall between February and July of that year, okay? We go over here and take a look at this fall. This one here took place in about a month time period. This is, this looks like August to August. Yeah, no. What is this? This would be about 2 months. That's another 60% fall or 50% fall. There's that 55% that they're talking about. But you can see that they do tend to have big pullbacks. But what is the ultimate story that we tell here going on with this company, man? Well, you go over time. You go over time and this thing is an absolute beast, right? So seeing these levels back here that are in line with what we saw in the 2020 crash, I'm watching for that like $200 to $220 range. I think that's going to be a good level to pick up. And if we go here and we throw on my fib levels, guys, that would be our 1-to-1 line on these fibs that I pulled from here, okay? If we take a look at where we're getting our bounce, it's in our platinum pocket. So I'm thinking that this may not be a horrible thing to just dollar cost into. Now, I will point out that on the 4 hour, we pumped up into the 786 and we're pulling back again. But I think if we come down to 237, I'm going to pick up probably a couple $1,000s more. And then if we come down to here, I'll probably pick up about another $3,000 to $4,000 more. I think that over time, UNH, yes, evil trash company that with 50 million people that they commit fraud on all the time and cancel their, deny claims and this and that, whatever. Hence why, oh boy, got unalived, right? But at the end of the day, this company is going to be one that they've got the money, the power, the lobbyists, the lawyers, that they can throw money at problems all day long and do just fine. So I think at the end of if they get a good CEO that comes in with a plan and says, look, this is our capital, here's our reserves, here's our expansion, here's what we're going to do to fix this, puts out some good marketing campaigns. We understand in the medical world that trust is your number one asset. And we want to build that back with you again here at United Health. Like I can just hear it all now, right? If they do all this stuff, I think this company's going to rally back very quickly like it has always done in history. And these prices, these are sell prices, in my opinion. So that's what I'm talking about with UNH, not financial advice. Roaring Piper, I just like the company. If you know, you know. All right, OC, what are you seeing on Bitcoin? Because you know what I really like? I like freaking Bitcoin. Let's go talk about that. What do you got on the chart, man?
Absolutely. So let's take a look at what we have in here. Remember where we left out, or where I left out, it was looking at a possible area of neckline in here. Remember that when we were in here, I was telling you, hey, should it be an area of entry? And I was saying, well, then we need to give it a little bit, a couple of candles. Why? Because if that is it, well, then that would have been the neckline in here, right? That we could be breaking out for a double top. If not, well, then this is exactly what I mentioned. I need to break above the trend line, go for a retest, look at that, and then off we go. So I was exactly expecting to break above the zero line in here, and then when that happens, well, then off with the movement. Right now, we're hitting back some supports, and that is right here on the zero line. So we need to be still a little bit cautious, but I think we're doing better than we were doing yesterday. or at least 2 days ago. So let's just take a quick look for that, right? I mean, let's just see where we are. So we're still within an itty bitty ranging here, right? Which is part of a huge megaphone that it's playing out fantastically. I mean, we can take a look at this previous trend line, and it's been, I mean, just in there with the resistance, right? So what would I be maybe waiting for? Again, I'll be waiting for some big supports. I still don't take my eyes off 101, and that is because despite we broke above this trend line in here, we have not yet put up a higher high, right? What is our meaningful high? I would say that this is our meaningful high, and we have not yet put on a higher high. So far, just a lower high, but we could be still within that same ranging zone. So we still need to be a little bit careful. At least we are above the zero line. I want to see another move to the upside in here, put up a higher low, sorry, higher high, a higher low, and that will be my next reentry if you guys did not caught on into this previous entry zone. Remember, don't worry too much. I think economy is right now a little bit stuttling for a little bit. You might still have another chance. Another thing that I want to go over is going to be the altcoins, but let's do that after we come back from a quick overview there. Let me pass it over to you, Piper.
Awesome. Let me clarify for Billy because he left. No, sell. It's on sale. These are not selling prices. It's buying prices because the prices are on sale. He walked away and he said, "So you're selling? No, I'm buying at these levels. And as it goes down, I'll buy more because this company is a strong company." Let me jump over to my Bitcoin chart. Let me show you what I'm watching here because you guys, I've been sharing these levels in our Discord, over on Chart Hackers, everywhere. I even dropped it in the chat here and talked about it. And it's this, the Platinum Pocket guys. And we were talking in that article about this thing just potentially going sideways here. Yes. I am absolutely running into the burning building that people are running out of right now. Frank the Tank, how you doing there, bro? Looking here at what I'm seeing on this article about could see it going sideways. I just want to go in here. Analysts say Bitcoin could trade sideways for about 2 weeks. Let's go see what they're saying here in this article. After reclaiming the crucial $100,000 level, Bitcoin is testing its recently recovered levels as some support, with some analysts suggest that the price will see a short-term sideways move before breaking out of that key resistance level. And I've talked to you about this. I'll recap that for you guys if you haven't seen it already, but I'll make it quick for you. Bitcoin's next key levels over the past month, Bitcoin has seen a massive performance, recovering 23% from the $84,000 mark. The flagship crypto has reclaimed a $100,000 barrier that it lost in February and rallied to a 3-month high of 105,819. Amid the market recovery, Bitcoin has entered its post U.S. election range between 92 to 106, trading just 4.4% beneath its all-time high. This week, Bitcoin has ranged between 101.5 and 105, taking out most of the liquidation cluster in that area. And we showed you that all of the cluster is above and below us, right? It is pretty far away from any large liquidity clusters. He explained that Bitcoin's price hasn't traded in the ranges high for a significant period, and a few new positions were built around this area after the initial squeeze of those shorts. As such, the main levels to look out for in this range is 106 resistance, and then around that $93,000 support where the recent breakout occurred. However, Bitcoin falls beneath that area of 100,000. It could lose the key support and attempt to fill the CME gap. We're going to show that in a second also, because that's an important level to know about. But if it's able to break up, if it can move up and out of this rising wedge pattern on a monthly, if Bitcoin remains inside the formation, it could surge to hit 110 to 112. What do I think? I think about 114, maybe 117. And here's why I think that. Let's go look at the chart. Let's show that CME gap level first. And then we'll show that why I think that 117 could happen. So if we go over to CME and talk about the CME gap, we have one that down here that we have now filled. Okay, this May 7th gap here, gone. Closed it out right there. Said, get out of here. Matter of fact, you can see on that day afterwards, we came down and just crushed it. Completely gone. No more CME gap. Let's put this back on the daily. and we'll talk about this. All right, here we go. I guess, no, wait, hold on. CME gap from there is still there, $96,000. That's one level to watch. The other one they're talking about, I stand corrected, that one is not closed on the daily. The other one they're talking about is this one right here from 22 April, and it runs down as 91,685. So this is that one that they were just talking about in that level for the downside move, $92,000, okay? But why I think 117? It's going to be on this chart here. 117 is going to be the top side. And if we get this, if we can hold above 103 right now, 103,552, that would be the 0.618 on our trend-based fibs. I think that the area to watch is 117,833. That's going to be our 0.66, our GAN level on this golden pocket. Okay, even if you wanted to make this a 0.65 and go, true fib golden pocket, then you're still looking at 114 on that level. Okay, but I use GAN levels because people know that their stop loss is set based on the 0.65, and so they shoot for that. That they put stop losses in that area, which means market makers are going to hit those stop losses. So if we just go with the 0.66, we're preempting the preemptive move of market makers, and we're now reacting. We're now acting to the reactors. How about that? So I'm going to go ahead and set that for a 0.66, which would be 117,000. Now, if we get above this and we get a show of support on that level, guys, then I've told you 167 is where I think we're heading, 167 to $168,000 Bitcoin. But of course, we do need to absolutely get out of this range and get up to that level. It's going to be the 1.618 here, which has been our historical range that we've hit minimum every single cycle. So that's about 168, 169, 167, somewhere in that ballpark right there. But until then, guys, we need to get above this golden pocket, the 618. And really what that means is we need to get above this out of this platinum pocket that we're just ranging in. Now, if we range in here for sideways, oh my goodness, guess what I did not do? Did not lock my fibs here. Fell sound for us. If we just range around in this platinum pocket, the 786 at 101.8 to this 105.10 on the top side there, that's a 0.887 fib, then this is going to be a good opportunity, in my opinion, for some traders, guys. Just trade long on the 101.8 and short on the 105.4. Set your stop losses right up and down below it, and you should be pretty good on that for just some quick scalp trading in that range. We're going to do it for a couple of weeks. Might as well make the money on it, guys. So, OC, what are you watching on the altcoin side, or do you have any thoughts on this about Bitcoin going down to close that CME gap, that level that they were talking about, this sideways action for a couple of weeks, this upside movement, retaking those golden pockets? What do you think?
Well, I think that there is certainly an area to be of interest, right? I'm looking right now at a couple of other icons so far. So at this point, this is where we start getting a little bit more bullish, but bullishly cautious, right? Because, we are breaking through stuff in here. It seems like we're coming back above the zero line in some cases. For example, Ethereum 1 hour. Let's go to 4 hours and start looking what's going on in here. Remember that we were looking at this possible flag that formed. I'm sorry, it's not about the breakout. It's about your retest. I was expecting a retest here. It actually ended up happening a little bit farther. So we have the breakout in here, right? The bounce to the upside, and then the retest right here with your confirmation with a flip of the ribbon. So this would have been an entry. Right now, it's a little bit too late for that entry, but we need to be careful because so far we haven't had the explosive movement that we should be having before a continuation. Also, I think this is too not steep, so too vanilla. If we can say it or mention that way, for an actual bull run, right? So we still need to be a little bit cautious. We're creating this kind of like a megaphone. In fact, if I drew another trend line in here, a little bit more untuned with what we're seeing, we have an up-ranging channel. Usually those kind of channels tend to break to the downside. So we need to at least take on this previous high, right, in order to create the next possible scenario, which is going to be a double top. So Ethereum not looking that bad, but again, not looking like it wants to blow up. So far, we need to be more. We need to be in the look on the dynamic reactor to cross into the green cloud, that will give us the enough momentum that we're looking for at least hitting a couple of support or resistances. And of course, we have our resistance somewhere around 2,863. So once again, I want to see that breakout, retest, off we go for then a possible next re-entry. Let's check out Litecoin, because Litecoin, from my last analysis, it is now playing out. Basically, I was expecting to a breakout to the downside, going to the support zone right in here, somewhere around this area. Let me see if I can stop drawing. Perfect. And I don't know why I cannot grab it, but maybe it's locked. Yep. There we go. We had our alert being ringing here. So let me just get rid of that for now. And then off we go. So you should be right now on profit. There's something that I really don't like at this point, which is that by now we should already have broken through that zero line, and we're not just yet. All right. So that usually indicates me that this could be a fake out rally. So far we're still bullish, so we cannot call for that fake out rally just now. But keep that at the back of your head, because this could be rolling over before we hit our premium zone, and this one could be making just a little bit of a fake out like that, right? And then rolling over to the downside. So once again, be careful with this one. Your entry was right down here on the breakout retest. Now there's no point to chase after the prices on Litecoin. Nonetheless, we can plan for the next upcoming movement. Same goes for BNB. BNB, instead of going for a hard pullback, it is just ranging until it touches the dynamic reactor. Let me just change this and change it back so we can get our dynamic reactor in the 4 hours. So let's give it a second. There we go. I was expecting for the dynamic reactor to move a little bit more violently, but it's just being a little lazy here. So let's just wait for maybe a pullback to this equilibrium zone in the dynamic reactor. As we keep pushing at this one, I have a little bit more faith, because despite we're going downwards in here, this is a downward channel, and usually that downward channel tend to break up out of that downward channel, especially when we are into the green cloud, and we are on the green cloud. So maybe a bullish divergence will be fantastic. This is a hidden bullish divergence. And well, then as we create something like that, create a bullish divergence with then sweep of the lows, and then hitting somewhere around 664. So what I'm going to be doing is adding my alerting here. Again, because just to be safe and be alerted on time, I'm going to be moving it a little bit higher up. And then, of course, if the movement happens to be to the upside, I want to be alerted at the movement to the upside, so then I can reanalyze and then maybe short it. XRP, everybody favorites, right? So XRP, we have a downwards trend line in here. So we had two of those. Right now we are on one. Let's see if we could be maybe jumping in. At this point, I would say that this could be an entry. We still need to be very careful, because look at the flip of the ribbon. The flip of the ribbon already happened, but it's not on the areas that we would love to. Like, why I want to have a flip of the ribbon between the dash line and the power bar below, right? Usually when that happen, it is not such a great movement until something else gives it a little bit more momentum, all right? So having said that, this could be a dead cat bounce. If you want to jump for long, just make sure that, let's open this up. There you set your stop loss, and let's call this a half of an entry. There's not going to be another half of an entry here for now until I see if dynamic reactor holds, all right? But other than that, I'm looking for maybe a retracement somewhere around here, and then setting my stop loss like that. Nonetheless, let's add a possible scenario here, right? And then my secondary scenario. So I rather not to react, but to hold this position up here in case it goes lower, takes me out, and then I don't get trapped then below the dynamic reactor. All right, so that's what I'm seeing on XRP. EOS, that is being surprising everyone. Well done in the 4 hours. It is recuperating. I do see a double topping here. We have a very strong trend line like this. So it's going to be interesting if we can see that breakout retest. If that happens, we could be going short from the stop and then go into the equilibrium zone, this is going to be our entry if that happens. All right, so right here, so let me add my alert again a little bit before, and then my alert right here. So when it's hitting here, maybe I can jump into a very small short because I am bullish and trading against a trend that doesn't really usually goes the way that we're expecting. All right, but that's gonna be it for this round. Maybe the next round, if we have chance, I'm gonna be doing Link, ADA, and Solana.
Beautiful. Love it. Love it. We had a question here from Kelly. Kelly asked us this question. Let's go ahead and throw this up here. And she was asking about TMF. It's a stock. If you guys don't know what it is, it's like TLT, which is the 20-year and plus treasury stock. You're playing basically the ETF for the treasury market. Okay. And this one is a 3x bullish. So she's asking, it says it looks pretty much bottomed. I want to jump over to that chart, and then I want to talk about what I'm seeing on the actual, why I personally am not overly confident in getting into it. Let's go ahead and bring this up here. I talked to who this. Let's go and have our girl break it down for us, and then I'll jump over to the chart. Hey, Pam, you there?
Hey, Rick. I'm here. What's up?
So I have a question for you. I need you to talk about everything that we just went over this in the TMF stock in its correlation with TLT, and why when TLT goes down, why it looks so bad for TMF's performance. Can you break that down for me?
Absolutely. So TMF is a leveraged ETF designed to deliver 3 times the daily performance of TLT, which tracks long-term US Treasury bonds. This means that if TLT goes down by 1%, TMF aims to go down by 3% on the same day. Why it looks so bad for TMF when TLT drops? Since TMF is leveraged, any negative movement in TLT is magnified threefold in TMF. TLT is down 2%, TMF is roughly down 6%, making the losses appear much more severe. Volatility drag. Over time, the daily compounding effect of leveraged ETFs means that volatility erodes returns. Even if TLT moves up and down but ends flat over a period, TMF could still end lower due to this compounding effect. TLT and TMF are highly sensitive to changes in interest rates. When interest rates rise, long-term bond prices and thus TLT fall, causing an even steeper decline in TMF. In short, TMF amplifies both gains and losses of TLT on a daily basis. So when TLT breaks, TMF's performance looks significantly worse due to its triple leverage, making it a high-risk, high-reward tool for short-term trades rather than long-term holds. Let me know if you need more details or want to dive into any specific aspect.
Nope, that was great, Pam. We're live right now, so go ahead and let everybody know who you are and tell them goodbye.
You got it. Good morning to the alumni and good morning to OC Guy. This is PAM, your Piper Academy market assistant, signing off. Pleasure to help you, Army Piper, alumni OC Guy. I'll check you guys later.
Awesome. So there you go. That's the what we're watching there on TMF, and why I don't like TMF, because if the TLT goes up, we're going to see TMF move up also, right? If TMF, yeah, Pam, Piper Academy market assistant, that's who she is. But if it goes down, then you're going to lose a lot of money on TMF if TLT goes down. If it goes sideways, TLT goes sideways, you still are going to lose money on TMF. So until we see strength in the market of TLT, I wouldn't touch TMF at all. Why? Because TLT is not showing any strength on its chart yet, and therefore the TMF is showing even 3 times less strength, right? So for me, Kelly, I would stay away from TMF until TLT shows bullish recovery. TLT has not done that as of yet. So just wanted to break that all down for you guys and help you out with that one, Kelly, because TLT has been a loser for a long time for a lot of people, and until it's no longer a loser, as long as it stays a loser, then TMF is a mega loser, 3-time loser. So just avoid it. Anything that loses you money, even when it's derivative that it's following goes sideways, you don't want to touch that yet. So, awesome. What else do we have here? There was another question. I think QUBT OC. You want to pull that one up and take a look at it, and then I'll take a look at it also and see what I'm seeing. But it's a stock QUBT. BC Port Corp is asking about that. And yeah, I've been training my AI for almost 2 years. So she's been learning all kinds of stuff about me, how to follow macro. And she knows who all you guys are. She knows the alumni. She knows OC guys pretty cool. So OC, you check out QUBT, and then I'll pull it up on my chart. We'll see what we have here for BC Port Corp. And then you can come back and knock out a couple more alts before we head out of here. What do you got for us, OC?
Absolutely. So let's take a look at Quantum Computing Inc. So that is a good pump that we have had in here. So let's just go back. Remember, I'm going to be trying to zoom out as much as I can. Now that I have zoomed out, as you can see that I can go any higher and dive to this just in case you are just stumbling across this video and you're wondering how to do analysis. Always zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. That's going to be key for understanding what is the market structure. You don't need chunky candles, right? So at this point, let me now fix it to something that my brain actually understands, and let's see that it was pretty flat. I mean, it was pretty flat until, well, it has something happen right here at, what was it, November 2024, right? It's been very shaky, and now we had the breakout retest, basically breaking out maybe out of this let's say falling wedge or falling channel. Let me see, let's do it a little bit better here. This is it. And then maybe let's use this one here for reference. There we go. And it's not about the breakout, right? It's about your retest. And off we go. How far could it go? Now let's take a look at where we have some support and resistances. So there we go. Now it's time for chunky candles to shine. So bring it on, zoom in a little bit more, and then we'll see that we have some dramatic setup in here, because look at that. As we hit those areas, we reverse harshly and violently, right? So we have our first resistance. We are getting in overbought zones. We are also creating right here kind of like a slope or a wedge, is rising wedge. And what we could be maybe expecting is going to be maybe a retracement to, remember, how do I measure this? I usually go from the full movement to 1/3 or 1/2, depending on what kind of asset this is. So let's grab this tool, and from here to there, I'm going to be looking for between 1/3 is going to be somewhere around here where my line is at, all right? And 1/2 is going to be somewhere around here. So I do expect maybe 1 or 2 more candles, maybe not piercing through because this is a big area of resistance, and then retracing to 1/3 of that movement for then a further continuation, basically defining a new trend line. And how can I say that, or what am I saying that? Look at this trend line right down here, right? It's not following that trend line. It is going, remember, how is this called? Parabolic. Why? Because it's creating a parabola, right? So why do you have one of my favorite tools in here? Let's see. I don't have it here. Ghost trend. Yeah, this is it. I do have it. This is a great tool for me to measure parabolas. As you can see right now, this is ghosted, right? So it's transparent because it's not yet confirmed. That's why it's called a ghost trend crossing, right? Based on the parabolic movement that is measured, it gives you a tangent. Based on that tangent, well, then this is basically the last resort before you start going going bearish, right? So basically we ranged for a little bit and we took it over. Once again, I think we need that retracement to recalculate that parabola, right? And if not, and then if we lose the next trend line, we are going to be going lower, maybe to the money flow POC. But so far, I do expect 1 or 2 candles up, retracement, and then we need to revisit the new trend line that is going to be formed. And then a further continuation to the upside. But we also explore the bearish scenario. Let me pass it over to you, Piper.
Awesome. Something that I'm watching here on quantum computing also is that we have this huge gap up here, guys. Big gap coming in right here. Its upside is about 1669, bottom side about 1232. So huge gap in here that it needs to fill. However, we are hitting that daily quantum reactor on quantum computing. There you go. sound effects for you. What I would expect to see, because you can see here on the daily, the MACD very, very. Don't do that. Go back. Thank you. The MACD very, very peaked out and exhausted, overbought. Looking at the Prime Oscillator Pro, where you can see the power bar is waning. We're clipping again here. We've already had divergences before, but money flow is still going up. So I'm going to address that money flow in a second, but you can see volume is dropping and everything's getting very overbought there. Plus on the RSI, geez, Louise. Plus on the RSI, we're seeing it hit in this upper heat map areas also way above the 70. It's sitting right now about 90 on the RSI. So what I would expect to see, and what the one Hail Mary possibility is that we do get a rejection here and come down to about $8.98, $9 if you want to round it there for a little bit of early entry. That would be your 100-day simple moving average. Getting a bounce off of that could let a lot of this stuff cool off, this money flow to continue, and the volume to kick back up again at that level for another rally. Plus, you can see this has been a key level of resistance for us. Retesting that, because there's a gap there to fill anyways, could give us an upside move that sends us into the momentum run with all of the energy of all of these oscillators being reset for a push to get up through this gap and back up to the top. Oddly enough, if we go and we pull coincidentally, I should say, if we pull a fib off of this top to this low and we take a look at what that range is, it's going to be your 50%. I would not be surprised to see this thing, if it can break through the 50, to head back to the golden pocket, which would be this cluster here of volume. And then, so speaking of volume, we might as well put a fixed range volume profile on this bad boy too, and just see what we get up there. Yeah, right there is going to be our value area high. So that would be running into a whole new volume node right there. So I would watch the 618, 1845 after we retest $9 on QUBT. Appreciate you, BC Port Corp. Let's go back over, check the chat, reset here, and then we'll head into OC's beautiful alt section here. Low float, call volume spikes, options activity plus low revenue, username said. Okay, there you go. I could get Pam in here and ask her to break down any recent news on QUBT, but I see Lunar Beach is asking about, he said, bullper or pie bear. Which one am I today? I'm cautiously optimistic still, man. Cautiously optimistic. What's up, Ball and Wallet? I see you, bro. Mark Dutch is in here. I see you too. Piper only takes advice from her robotic rival. Welcome to 2025. His wife must be devastated. My wife and I, we've planned out some amazing trips using ChatGPT. We use her a lot. So to include when we were looking at this house and stuff, she gave me a full rundown on the housing market in the full housing market in the Rockwall area. So yeah, I use ChatGPT quite a bit. So what else we got, OC? Anything that you saw there in the chat that I missed? And if I didn't, we'll hand it over to you to run. Currently driving. I see you, Jesse. We appreciate you, man. Drive safe. Drive safe. All right. I don't see anything. Do you see anything? No?
Not
Good.
really. I think you have covered everything. Yep.
Awesome. OC, what are you seeing on the altcoin side? Guys, if you haven't done so yet, smash that like button, man. We got a lot more viewers.
Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
A lot more viewers than we have likes right now, guys. So pump those likes up. It helps us out. I hate asking you, but it really does help us out a lot. And then also, shout out to everybody watching on X right now. I got a lot of people watching this on X right now. OC, passing it over to you. Let's take a look at some of those alt plays you're watching.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at Linky here. This is where we left out. I was expecting a breakout retest. The retest went farther ahead. It closed inside the pattern. Usually when that is a signal that we're going to be hitting the top again. But what happens? We have a previous weekly high, and also we have a delta. Where is this? Man, this just slipped liquidity zone. My bad. A liquidity zone right here that rejected the price action, therefore breaking back below here. So it actually it's on its way to our target here. So, I mean, kind of like it was a very nice fake out. So hopefully you did not jump in that longing here. So basically, we are going back to this area of support. I think that we're going to keep going downwards, and that is because we are below the zero line. Yes, are we bullish? Absolutely. And that also is being reflected being above the dynamic reactor. Therefore, we're looking for the area of support, the big area of support. In that big area of support, it is dynamic reactor. So I would say that we still need to see some movement like that, something, or even something like that, or even something like this to create a bullish divergence. All right. So why is it creates a bullish divergence? Because our oscillator is going up and our price action is going farther down. So if we go further down in here and then we go slightly up, we are going to be creating a bullish divergence. Anyhow, I believe that we are still need to go and find some support lower right down here. All right, so that is for Link. ADA, kind of like the same, but let's just wait for let's wait for it to load. And there we go. Let's see. Perfect. And we're bouncing out of the dynamic reactor. Basically, we're already there, right? We are still with a possible reversal. It's not playing out as should be because it's not breaking through other places of resistance. So I believe that we're going to be coming back for a double bottom at the very least, all right? If right here going downwards and then we go upwards here, we could be creating a bullish divergence. What am I looking for bullish divergence? Because bullish divergence at support usually reacts very, very strongly. Let's take a look at what else we have. We have quantum reactor coming in strong, all right? So we can still go below and then make a fake out like we did in here because the quantum reactor can remain bullish, all right? We're still bullish in here. We should be pumping and our volatility factor is not that high. So I'll be waiting for and going for plan A so far, which is going to be bouncing from here, right? Plan B is going to be somewhere around there, bouncing from quantum reactor. Let's just bring up resistances and supports. We're in equilibrium. Equilibrium usually indicates ranging zones, all right? What else do we have? Well, where is our quantum reactor? It is also the money flow POC and a big area of support. So still pushing to those areas. So that's going to be plan A, plan B. And then we have a huge order block right down here, which at this point I'm going to be ignoring just for now until we get in here. Because remember, order blocks can migrate positions, right? So when I started seeing some resistance, I want to go back and look at my order blocks to see how they are reacting, if they're shifting. If they are not shifting, well, then I will not be jumping into a long, and I'd rather go for a short all the way to the high order block right there. And to finalize, let's go take a look at Solana. Everything is looking almost exactly the same, right? The only difference is basically where we have the allocation of order blocks of money, all right? But everything is going to be defined by Bitcoin. So something interesting, it is again, we're not having that big movement. And if we do, well, then we have a high order block, which is highly negative, which usually could be indicating rejection, all right? Yes, we have a loud order block, but in this case, we're going to be putting in a lower high. And if for any reason we break through and then we bounce, well, then we have a predictive range in here, which could be creating a trend line in here, right? So we need to be cautious here on Solana. Slightly different, but right now we're bouncing from the loud order block and we have a hidden divergence. Where am I going to be looking for a long in Solana? Where if I break through the zero line and I bounce off the loud order block instead of going up and then rejecting, all right? So this is going to be basically the bullish setup instead of this bullish setup. So that's what I got so far, Piper. Let me try it back to you.
Awesome. Appreciate that, OC. So, hey, guys, if you guys don't know, today, this happened today, effective immediately, according to Stake and Shake, Bitcoin has been launched at Stake and Shake. The revolution is underway. Stake Toshi. There you go. So I don't think that I would be spending Bitcoin at Stake and Shake, but they're jumping on the bandwagon of crypto, and then it's more adoption, it's more exposure. How about that? So, but yeah, in the U.S., I'm not spending Bitcoin to buy Steak and Shake. I'm not going to take a capital gains tax event to buy a beautiful smashed sirloin steak burger. So not happening. OC, do you get capital gains tax when you sell your Bitcoin down in Mexico, right? So if you spent Bitcoin, you would have to pay tax on that, right?
No, we don't. Unless you
What?
transform into here's the thing. It is a little bit like in the gray area, all right? But if I spend Bitcoin directly, I'm not obligated to report it. I should, but there's no law that tells me that I need to, right? So it falls into a gray area. And let me tell you what happens here. Like there is this guy called Salinas Pliego, one of the richest men around here, right? One of his business, it is, I believe, Electra. And what he does, it is like in very, I don't know what's going on there. And maybe you can shed some light in here. On pandemic, when everybody was out of money, well, then he set special discounts on Nintendo Switches, on Xboxes, and everything that, like people do when they're bored, but just if you give him your Bitcoin. So I believe that he's not planning to report that, right? You also did not
Maybe
have
not.
to report it. Yeah, and then, well, he was buying Bitcoin for cheap for something that it was selling like hot bread. But I don't know. Yeah, we don't have the capital gains for Bitcoin now.
Yeah, in the U.S., we do. So in the U.S., Steak and Shake, I would not be doing it. I was trying not to smile at that. I was trying to smile at that. Yeah, so I saw tinfoil hats on by DDT. So hold it in, Piper. Tinfoil hats, OC. Yeah, but Trump is actually trying to get rid of capital gains tax on Bitcoin. So maybe at that point, but still, I don't know that I'm going to be using a finite asset to buy infinite steak burgers. So not going to happen. Because if you think about it, if I bought a steak burger, what is a steak burger at Steak and Shake right now? Like probably $10, right? That I could potentially be spending $100 for that burger, and I'd rather just spend some cash or make one at home myself and use that money that I saved to buy more Bitcoin. That's what I would probably do. So, all right, OC, that's about all we got time for today, guys. It's Friday. There's no one to push to. I've checked. I've double checked. I've triple checked. No one's going live this morning. No Crypto Princess this morning. We don't have any crypto coin mindset. No Keith. That's okay. We're gonna just enjoy our Friday. I got a show with OC here in a minute, and then this weekend we're gonna enjoy our weekend. But Pam, can you give us some advice of things that we can do this weekend to get away from the charts and why we need to decompress from trading in the markets and what we can do that's in line with touching some grass and spending time with family? What do you got for the people, Pam?
Absolutely. Taking a break from the markets is essential for mental clarity and overall well-being. Stepping away helps you recharge, reduce stress, and return with a fresh perspective. This weekend, try spending quality time with family. Maybe head out for a nature hike, have a picnic in a local park, or just relax with a backyard barbecue. Engaging in a hobby like gardening or playing a sport can also help you unwind. The key is to disconnect from screens and reconnect with the people and activities you love. It's all about finding balance and giving your mind the break it deserves. So go ahead and touch some grass. Your future self will thank you.
All right, Pam, tell them all have a good weekend. Smash the like on the way out and tell them goodbye.
You got it. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. Take care and enjoy your time off. Goodbye.
All right, there you go. OC, appreciate you, bro. Smash the like on the way out, guys. We'll bring Pam in for some more stuff. We're gonna have her break down. We're gonna have her break down some macro stuff when we get these events, and have her break this stuff down for us in a much better way than I do sometimes. But she's pretty smart. We've been learning together for 2 years, so this is how it starts. Buck says, OC, what do you got for the people on the way out, man?
Not much, guys. I think this is a fantastic opportunity to go and, like make the pieces to whoever you need to make the pieces with, especially if there's family and friends. Do not waste that opportunity. You may never know when you might be regretting. And also, give that call to that friend that it's been a long time that you haven't called out. It's letting know that, like, you're there and they're also okay. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. Click that like button and then let the love be spread. Thank you.
Awesome. We'll catch you guys on Monday. Don't forget to tune into OC this evening. They'll be back with Trade with OC. And then next Sunday night, Markets After Dark, the Lunar Beaches Crypto. Monday morning, we're going to be kicking it off with BC Port Corp. Good Morning Crypto. We'll be back at 10 a.m. Next week, guys, no macro events. No major macro events at all next week. So if there is an opportunity to see a market move out of the range, could be next week, guys. We're going to be keeping an eye on that close next week, and we'll catch you all then. Till next time, trade safe. And as always, train your AI and use a stop loss. Later, guys.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the army parade. Flag at the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean. You can't handle the truth.
Dude.